Afternoon, everyone. It is actually Sunday. I have a guest star. Her name is Chloe. She's off for the next week for spring break. So I apologize if she comes in and starts ranting. It's just how it is, folks. So she's currently, this will give you a perspective. Currently sitting in my bay window with no clothes on, a pull-up, and stuffed animals. Would you like to see? There's a little autism household for you right there. Yep. It's the bug. So, I'm doing today's video on Sunday, or Monday's video, I should say, on Sunday because we're super busy tomorrow. I didn't get the kids' Easter pictures taken a couple weeks ago because Aunt Lindsay was sick. So, we're going tomorrow morning, and then in the evening, Chloe's TSS comes, and we're busy tomorrow. So, while Matthew's sleeping, they're both bathed, we're doing it now. So, recap. Chloe had her fashion show. It was awesome. She did a great job. Saturday, what did we do yesterday? She was a little spitfire yesterday. I don't know what was up with her. I don't know if she had sugar or what was going on, but she was getting into everything. Oh my gosh. I had to follow her around the house and clean up after her like a tornado. Interesting. She's been galloping. I don't know where she learned this from. It has to be PT at school. I don't know where she learned to gallop. She just started galloping one day, and I just kind of stood there and looked at her like, oh, you gallop. Okay, didn't see that coming. Then this morning, she got out of the shower, and she started jumping in place. And you may be like, oh, she's jumping in place. Big deal. My kid jumps in place all the time. Well, your kid's 2. Mine is going to be 7. She doesn't jump in place. She jumps on a trampoline. She jumps on a bed. She doesn't jump in place. Literally jumping in place. I kind of sat there and just stared at her. I didn't know what to do. I was shocked. She's jumping in place. Holy crap. That's amazing, Chloe. Huge accomplishment for her. Huge. So, that was that. So today's video, I'm going to go over, and I had to write some of this stuff down because I forget sometimes. I'm going to go over some little autism lingo and little sit. Thank you. We don't stand in the window. Spring break. Jesus. So, some of the stuff that I say, it's all abbreviated. Like, you don't sit there and say, oh, Chloe's behavioral specialist consultant. No, it's BSc. And I just said TSS, which is therapeutic support staff. You'd be like, what are these things? Never fear, I'm here to explain. So, when you get wraparound services, which, what are you doing, baby? Wraparound, it has another word for it. Behavioral health rehabilitation services. Easier just to call it wraparound. Wraparound is when they come into your home and they do like home and community-based services. So they do ages 3 to 21. Stop at 21 because you're out of the system. Well, alright, I guess you can put all them next to me. Oh, this girl. So, bug. So, she's gonna make me lose my train of thought. This video is gonna be very screwed up. I'm so sorry. But, they do ages 3 to 21, and the reason they only go to 21 is because when you turn 21, you're out of the system. They start at 3 because ages 3 and below, remember, early intervention. You get early intervention in the home, and then to continue it after 3, inside the home, you have to have wraparound services. You have to go to a psychologist, and they have to say, yes, you qualify for wraparound. She's Medicaid because she's considered disabled, and they pay for this wraparound services. Now, she does have Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance, but it's out of Illinois. Illinois does not recognize wraparound services. They don't have it. Pennsylvania does. A couple years ago, we lost our behavioral specialist for months because Illinois was like, I don't care if you're in Pennsylvania and they recognize wraparound. We don't recognize it here. So we're getting rid of her BSc. I was devastated. So the person who does all of her programming, writes all of her things for her treatment plan for wraparound was gone. I didn't have any of that. I would have lost my mind if it was around the time our plan of care was up. So when Chloe's plan of care is up, that means it's been a year. And we go back to the psychologist. And when we go to the psychologist, when we go to the psychologist, he recommends the amount of hours she gets for wraparound. He recommends, all these things for the wraparound to come in and what they do and stuff. So, and then after that, we go a week later or two. After his report's done, we go to the behavioral health services for the county, and the insurance company representative is there, and it's this whole big thing. I hate when plan of care is up. It's such a pain in the you-know-what. I can't stand it. Okay, but BSc, Behavioral Specialist Consultant. Chloe used to have Jara. Jara got promoted. And now we have Kristan. Kristan's wonderful. We love her. Chloe, sit. I can tell you again, girl. Sit. So we have Kristan. Kristan comes in. She writes all of Chloe's things for the TSS to do and whatnot. We have a ton of programming, so it's wonderful. But Kristan writes her treatment plans, and every 30 days Chloe gets a review on how she's doing, and I get a copy of that. And anything I need, she's there. If I have something wrong, she goes to Chloe's school and observes her. It's nice because I'm not there, so she can kind of give me a feedback on what's going on, which is wonderful. Then Chloe has Amber, who is her TSS, her therapeutic support staff. Amber comes in 2 days a week, Mondays and Tuesdays, from about between 4:30 and 5. She leaves from work, so whenever she gets here, till about 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. And she comes in and she works with Chloe. Numbers, letters, social things, arts and crafts, motor skills, anything you could think of that Chloe might need, Amber works on her with, which is wonderful. We love Amber so much. She's been a godsend to us. Also, for wraparound services, you can get a mobile therapist. Chloe doesn't need one because she is not crazy in the community. If she were going around and hitting people and biting people and running away and random things in the community, I would get a mobile therapist called an MT. That is for very extreme behaviors. They follow you around the community. I don't personally know anybody with a mobile therapist. No, I don't know anyone with a mobile therapist, and Chloe doesn't need one, so that's wonderful. But they do provide those for wraparound, a mobile therapist. What else? Oh, IEP. Individualized Education Plan. This is the most important thing, I think. I'm doing a whole video on this, actually, this week. This is so important. This is your child's goals for school. Basically, I'm paraphrasing this stuff. School age, special education, these children get IEPs. An IEP is a legal, government federal document. The school has to follow this IEP. You can sue your school if they do not follow this IEP. They have to. Chloe's mastering some of her goals for her IEP. For instance, some of those goals are, she first start out at the beginning of the year, and you can move up the goals. So, for instance, at the beginning of the year, for her first progress thing was Chloe is to match uppercase and lowercase letters 25% of the time for 6 consecutive times. That's not one of her goals. I'm just throwing it out there. When she masters at 25% of the time, 6 consecutive times, she goes up to 50% of the time for, say, 8 consecutive times. And they keep going and going until she does it 100% of the time, every time. That's mastery. She has this for speech. She has it for in class. She has one for physical therapy. She has one for OT. writing her name, cutting with scissors, eating with a fork and spoon. Physical therapy is her throwing balls at targets. Walking up and down stairs, which she has no problem with. That's been mastered for years. Motor skills for OT. Speech. Using her device. Clicking on things. Asking for things. Manning objects, which is asking for. Initiating things with the device. In class, it's her letters, matching her letters, her numbers, sitting in a chair for 30 minutes at a time. These are all in her IEP. I can put anything I want in that IEP. That is my privilege, I guess you could say, as her mother. I can call a meeting at any time, and I can put anything I want in it. An IEP is made up of a team of people that come in, help you with the IEP, give you suggestions, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to go too much into it because I'm going to do a whole video on it. What else? LEA, Local Education Agency. You'll hear this when you're transitioning a lot of times into kindergarten. It's a fancy word for your school district. That's all it is. An LEA, that's it. It's a fancy word for your school district that you reside in. That's all. It just makes it sound important. One thing a lot of parents should know. You might hear of the IDEA, or IDEA. It is, Individualized Disability Education Act. It was made in 2004, and it is the federal standard for special education. A lot of your parent rights are in here. I suggest everyone who has a special needs child who is in school, go read this. You want to read this. You need to read this. You need to know what your rights are as a parent, what you can and cannot do when it comes to your child's education. It will shape the rest of your life. I highly, highly recommend you all read that. It's lengthy, but a lot of good information there, a lot of good knowledge. Pretty much what I have, or what I was very confused about at first. I'm like, what are these things? But I did have a really fancy piece of paper with all the abbreviations on it. I think Chloe took it. I'm not sure she put it. But if anybody has any questions, I'm pretty sure I can find it. I think I know where she put it. But those are just some of the things that I was very confused about when we first started. I'm like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. But so Tuesday's video, I'm going over IEPs. I'm gonna bust out one of Chloe's old IEPs and show you guys exactly what you're not supposed to show anybody the IEP, but I don't give a shit. Whatever. So I'm gonna show you the IEP. Wednesday, I think I'm gonna do a video on meltdowns and like how we deal with her meltdowns and like what goes on with a meltdown. It's not the same as a tantrum. Thursday, I'm gonna go over the things we're thankful for when it comes to autism. And this may sound crazy, but I have a good explanation for that. And then Friday, I think I'm going to do the things we hate about autism. And there's a lot of them. So, I hope you guys have a good night. And I will see you tomorrow.